because then it'll find it as a word by itself rather than part of another word. Yeah. As far as Cedrus's question, I don't know. That would be a good thing to ask your field trainer. Yeah. I'm talking about the course. I'm not just talking about real life dealing with your clients, right? So keep that in mind as we go. Critical illness is a one-time lump sum payout when you get sick. When sick. I'm going to say when critically ill is a good way to think of it. So we're not flu, not cold, things like that. There's two main different types of critical illness. There's a 4 illness version and a 25 illness version. Okay, we're going to talk about those later. That means 4 sicknesses, we're going to move on 25 to critical illness, right? The more coverage, the more money. So 25 is more money. Let's talk about the 4 first. They are heart attack, stroke, cancer. I'm going to say life-threatening cancer, and coronary artery bypass. Why is it lump sum? It pays all at once if you get sick, kind of like life insurance pays all at once if you die. That's all what lump sum means. Yeah. So these are the 4. Now, you might be like me. By the way, I was a liquor store manager before I came into WFG. I didn't really know how any of this stuff worked or any medical words. So I didn't know what coronary artery bypass was. So I'm going to explain it to you. It is when the plumbing to/from your heart is clogged, and so they reroute it into the plumbing that's not clogged. That's a simplified explanation of a complicated surgery, but that's what it is. Now, let me know when you got those 4 down, because we're going to go through the other 21 that make up the 25 very quickly. Let me know when you're ready. Everybody ready? Yeah, we're not going to go through 21 more things. No. No. Because you don't need to know them. At least don't memorize them. If you want to look them up in the textbook, you can. But different companies have different lists. But these 4, you need to memorize these 4. They will ask you as if you know. The difference between the 4 and the 25 is the 25 has these 4 plus 21 more. More coverage means more money. Costs more money. Okay? Now, I want to talk a little bit about what happens when you apply for an insurance policy. Now, this applies to critical illness, disability, and life insurance that we're going to talk about yesterday. That's why coming to all of the bootcamp is better than only coming to some, but let's get into it. When you apply for an insurance policy at an insurance company, there are kind of 4 main options or answers that they give you. An application to an insurance company is you send them an application your client fills out based on the price that they're advertising and the amount of coverage they're advertising. And you say, my client wants this for this amount of money. There are 4 main things that they're going to send back. They're going to say, it's approved. They agree with you. They sometimes call this standard pricing. And they say, okay, we'll match that. That's good. The client's healthy enough that we'll match what we advertise. The second one is you can get a rated policy, or they also call this a rating. What a rated policy is the insurance company says, yes, we'll cover you, but you're going to have to pay a little bit more because you're a little bit more risky than the average. Whether that be current health, past health, even family health sometimes comes into play. Sometimes occupation comes into play. Either way, you get rated because some reason makes you more risky than the average, but they'll still cover you. The third one, they'll say, you're too risky. And they'll give you a decline. They'll say, no, we're not going to cover you because you're too risky. And then the last one is called an exclusion. What an exclusion says is, yes, we'll cover you for everything. Yes, you pay standard pricing, but we're not going to cover you for this. And they pick one specific thing that makes you more risky.
This
and they say, but we won't cover
show
this.
where we guess languages from around the
So if I give you an example,
world,
let's say I have all the men in my life before me have had heart issues in the past. And I applied 4 different insurance companies. They give me 4 different answers. The first one says, that's fine, we don't care about that. You're approved standard like everybody else. The second company says, we do care about that. So you're going to pay a little extra, but we'll still cover you for everything. The third one says, that makes you too risky for us. We're going to just decline you. And then the last one says, we'll cover you for everything. You'll pay the same price as everybody, but we're not going to cover heart issues. Heart issues are excluded on your plan. Everybody okay? Okay. Standard pricing is a little bit different for everybody. So let's go through what determines kind of pricing for insurance for a second. The first one, the main one, is age. The older we are, usually the more we pay. It's just a good way to think about it conceptually. The second one is sometimes smoking status comes into play. Sometimes they call it a smoker rating. When you smoke, you usually pay more than non-smokers generally. And then the third one is gender. So let's talk about gender for a second. I'm going to tiptoe through the conversation, okay? Traditionally, statistically, the male gender pays more for life insurance that we're going to talk about on Saturday, and the female gender pays more for living benefits, this module. Now, some of us might say, well, that's not fair. That's discrimination, right? Actually, it's statistics. Statistically speaking, the male claim more in life insurance than the female gender does, so they pay more. Statistically, the living benefits gets claimed more by female, so they pay more because of that, right? Now, some people might say, well, oh, the reason why life expectancy is lower for guys is because they say, hey, hold my beer, watch this, right? Which could be a funny joke, but I like to make the joke that it's because the women poison us. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. The reason why I make that joke, I'll tell you. My fiance got really into true crime for a little while, and there was a boating accident where the husband fell off the boat and the wife couldn't find him for hours. And I was sitting with her while we were watching it, and Jay's like, "Oh, she totally poisoned him with this Pure Leaf tea bottle that was in the boat," and it ended up being right. And so I was like, "Hey, honey, how did you know that?" And so, disclaimer: what she says that she said and how I interpreted what she said are two dramatically different things. What I heard her say was, well, that's what I would do. And I was like, huh? Like my brain was like, what? What did you just say all that? And what she says that she said was, that's what women would do, is what she said. You're right, Bruce. Now when she's like, hey, I made your coffee for you, I'm like, you first. Hey, honey, I made you lunch. You first. No, I'm just kidding. But like, don't worry, I'm safe. I've had people say, well, like, Eric, blink twice if you're worried about your health. I'm good. Don't worry. I'm fine. But if I die from poisoning, tell them to watch the video, right? Everybody on my side? Okay, now, before I say this, okay, let's go one step deeper. Eric, what about the non-binary people, the transgender people? Now's not the time to flare how you feel about it. This isn't the place. But usually insurance companies go gender at birth. Like we work with a company that does have, I think, gender, let's say, respectfully assigned, but keep in mind there has to be like evidence to back that up. But I would say rule of thumb, gender at birth. Okay. Everybody okay? Let's go. Now we're gonna move back to critical illness. There are 2 time frames in critical illness we need to. What are our other categories? That's a good question to ask your field for sure. That's if you're healthier than the average. Sometimes you can get cheaper rates than the average. Yep. There are 2 main time frames with critical illness we need to keep in mind. The first one is called the qualification period. Now that everyone's got a joke out of the way and everyone's offended. Who's all offended? Because if everyone's offended, nobody's offended, right? Then at least it's fair. Okay, just making a joke. Don't. Some people are gonna be like, "This guy's jokes are awful," right? It's okay. You can give me that feedback if you want. It's okay. I'm not perfect. All right, let's go. There's qualification within 30 days. It's a survival period of 30 days. Thank you. Thank you. I needed the ego bump from everyone saying nice things about me. It's awesome. We're working our way. The qualification period applies when you purchase the policy. So you are not covered for the first 30 days of your purchase. In the first 30 days of buying the policy, you are going through the qualifying period. And once you pass the 30 days, now the coverage is good, available. You can claim now. Why does that happen? If I give you the quick and easy answer, it's because sometimes people buy insurance while they're sick instead of going to their doctor. They call me and say, Eric, can you get that heart attack stuff? And I'm like, yeah. And then they go through the words and it says, I have never had issues with the heart or been to the doctor about it. And they check, no, I haven't had issues because I haven't been to the doctor yet. Then they go to the doctor says you're sick. They come back and say, give me the insurance money. And insurance companies have gone wise of that. So they put this 30-day period to keep pre-existing conditions, people that are already sick, from getting paid. Everybody okay on that one? Once you've owned it for 30 days, you're covered now. Everything's good. The survival period is you have to they also call this a waiting period, by the way. Put that in there. If you died during the qualifying period, you wouldn't get paid. Correct, because this is critical illness insurance for living benefits. Life insurance is tomorrow. Right? If you die, critical illness doesn't pay you anyway. It pays you when you live. Right? Survival period is you have to survive this amount of time to get the payment. So to follow up on Amandi's conversation, what if I die in the 30 days between the day I got diagnosed and the day my waiting period's up? Does that mean my family does not get paid? Correct, not from critical illness insurance. This is a living benefit. This is to pay you when you get sick and live. Life insurance is there when you get sick and die. A good way to think about insurance, or the way I like to think about it sometimes, is it's like a jigsaw puzzle. All the pieces go together, but they don't overlap. So life insurance fills that void in the 30 days. If you get sick and pass, life insurance will pay. If you get sick and live, critical illness will pay to help you deal with some of those things. Will the premium be paid during that 30 days? That's a good question. I would say I'm not too sure specifically, and I'm okay saying I'm not too sure. I'll check on that for you in the break for sure. But if you don't hit your survival period, you don't get paid the critical illness. Is that clear with everybody? Okay. You can make survival period longer than 30 days if you want. 60 days, 90 days. Right. Living insurance pays you. Yeah. Life insurance pays your family. You're right. So you can make a survival period 90 days, 120 days. Right? And so let's say Rosalie buys a 30-day one, I buy a 60-day one. If we both pass away at 45 days, well, Rosalie hit her 30 days. She gets the payment. I didn't hit my 60 days. I don't get the payment. So that means Rosalie has better coverage than I do, which means she pays more money than I do. The shorter the wait, the more expensive it is. The longer the wait, the cheaper. The reason why I'm saying this to you is there may be questions where they say, client's really happy with everything they have. They're really good with all their coverage, but they want it cheaper. How? Make them wait longer. Makes the price cheaper. Longer wait, worse coverage, you could say, less money. Because then you don't have to lower how much they're covered for, you just lower how long they need to wait. Yeah. If you claim CI once, Rupinder, the policy is a one-time payout. That means once it pays out, it's gone. And if you were to go try and apply to get a second policy, well, you'd have to go through that rating declined exclusion conversation that the insurance company would have, where I can't say they would approve you, but I can't say that they wouldn't, because they all have different priorities, you could say. Is 30 days the shortest you can get? As far as I know, 30 days is the default in the course, and usually it goes longer. But in real life, Irene, I am not too sure, because every insurance company can change it a little bit as they wish. Remember, I'm talking hypothetical, not necessarily company to company stuff. Yeah. All right. If somebody passed away at 40 days and the check didn't get there in time, would they definitely get it? Yep. Usually there's a beneficiary attached to that, then they would do too. Yep. The money would be coming, but it might not come to them. And remember, 30 days from diagnosis, not 30 days from what you let the insurance company know. Okay? Sometimes you can't let them know. Let's talk about a rider. I'm going to talk about the main rider that shows up in critical illness. There is more than just one, but keep in mind that these are open book modules, which is awesome, and we can look a couple up. My goal is to give you a really good base knowledge of everything that I think is going to show up on the test every single time. and you search the rest. If I waited more than 30 days, would it be cheaper? Yeah, the longer the wait, the cheaper the price. You get it, Lawson. But if you're saying if I got sick and waited 2 years before I told the insurance company, well, you would probably still get the payout because it was after 30 days you survived. Yeah. Return of premium is the conversation that if you don't get sick, you can get some money back. Now, the reason I put some and not all of your money back is it's a little bit of a misnomer that you get all your money back. It can be between 70% to 4 times is what they say in the text, but it's you get some back. And to answer Helen's question, yes, once you get paid out in CI one time, the policy goes away, life insurance. It pays out and it goes away. If you need to get another one, you'd have to pay to get another one. Okay. Return of premium is the conversation if you don't get sick and it expires, you can get some money back. If you actually pass away, there's a return of premium on death sometimes where you can get some of your money back since it didn't pay you, right? So keep in mind, this is more of a conversation that if a client says, I don't want to buy insurance and get nothing out of it, you give them return of premium because whether they get sick or not, they get something out of it. They get something out of their policy, right? I have my own critical illness with return of premium, and I don't know the exact numbers, but let's just be hypothetical. If I bought it when I was 19, I pay like $40 a month for it. And if I don't get sick by age 65, I get $36,000 back or something like that. So it's kind of like I get some money back if I get sick and I get some money if I don't get sick. It's a good way to think about it. How much money back in percentage? I mentioned 70% to 4 times. There's no specific good number. What's the max years you can get for life insurance when you're in your 20s? That's a good question in the life insurance module tomorrow. I'm going to throw this out here. Stop asking me life insurance questions. We're not in the life insurance module right now. We're going to talk about life insurance tomorrow. Just be there tomorrow and we get it. If someone had a group policy for 10-year CI, company got a new insurance provider, then the employee took the policy over privately with the original provider and has to pay a yearly cost, can the employee get the premium waived due to disability? That's a really good question that I don't know the answer to. At least I don't have the time to dive into that right now. Yeah. If they have waiver premium, they might, but that's a question that sounds just like an actual question or your personal situation, which I would say your personal situation, talk to your field trainer. Yeah. I'm not here to help you figure out how to buy your own insurance. I'm here to help you pass the test. Okay? All right, let's go. Everyone okay with CI? At what point do you get the money back? Not at the end of every year, Irene. You get the money back when your policy expires, you pass away, or potentially if you keep it long enough that you surrender. Yeah. CI is part of term. We're not in life insurance, everybody. This is not term life insurance. We are in their own policies by themselves. I can't make it any more clear. Let's keep going. Say it one more time. We are not in the life insurance module. Nothing we are buying today is life insurance. Life insurance is tomorrow. These are all policies by themselves that you purchase by themselves that are not attached. Right? Return of premium is a rider, Belinda. Yes. Is there tax on critical illness? Well, who pays for it? You? If you pay for it and you receive the benefit, it is not taxed. If your company pays for it and you receive it, well, then the premium's taxed, but usually not the benefit. Usually beneficiaries do not pay tax in insurance. Yep. Disability insurance has a couple more moving parts. Third pricing factor is gender, age, smoking status, gender. Like I said, that's not the only rider for CI, but that's the main one they ask. Okay, here we go. Disability is a monthly pay when someone's unable to work. You can only purchase up to 60% of your gross income in coverage. Now, this is going to be, we're going to call this individual for a second, just so we all don't get confused. So this is buying disability on me for me to cover my wage. Okay. I can only purchase up to 60% of my gross income and coverage. So if I make $100,000 at my job, I can only buy up to 60,000, 60% of my income in insurance coverage. So not the full amount, But that's where it maxes out. You can get less than 60%, but you cannot get more than 60% when you're buying it with yourself. Everybody okay? I don't know what WSIB is. That might be a provincial thing that I don't know about. But we're going to keep going. When you purchase a disability insurance, one thing that's kind of unique to disability is your occupation matters. And what I mean is the more risky your occupation is, the more likely you're going to pay a little extra. Just like if you're older, just like if you smoke, just like if you're the gender that pays more in this module. Okay. So if you're an underground diamond miner or you are working a desk job, those are two inherently different risk profiles for getting hurt, which means you pay two inherently different prices. We are not talking about CI anymore. Has to be the CI. You get to pick a number. There's maximum on that one, but they're all there. Yeah. What if the income post buying can it be upgraded? We're going to talk about that. Lawson for sure. Excuse me. All right. 60 is different for short-term and long-term disability, but this is individual disability. This is not disability with your group. This is you buying it on yourself. Yeah. Here we go. There are two main things you need to choose when you buy the insurance policy. And we're going to go from least expensive to most expensive. So these are things you need to choose when you buy it. And you cannot change it once you bought it. You would have to cancel and then rebuy. Okay? The first one is called a cancelable policy. The second one is called a guaranteed renewable. Disability matter age? Yes, you need to have an income to be replaced to get disability. So more often than not that I see 18 years or older for buying disability. But there is a certain age too. Non-cancelable is the last one. Okay? The way a cancelable policy works is the insurance company can cancel on you or change the price at any time. Now, usually they do it at the end of the year. They'll send you a letter saying thanks, but no thanks, or they send you a new letter with a new price of what it is now. Now, they're not going to pick you out specifically, right? They're not going to be like, you know what, Riddell, we don't like you. We're not going to cover you. They won't do that. They'll pick a section of people, right? They'll pick a section of 25 to 45-year-old construction workers, 65-plus-year-old taxi drivers. That's what they'll do, sections of people, okay? But they can either cancel your coverage or raise the price. Guaranteed renewable, they cannot cancel. They can raise the price. And non-cancelable, they can make no changes to the price or the terms, meaning they can't cancel you. So you're paying more to make sure that they can't make you pay more or cancel on you later. Now, I find the naming scheme of these a little bit confusing, and I like taking complicated things and making them simple rather than making simple things complicated. So what I like to look at, or at least what I think would be the most important ones to memorize first, are the cancelable and the non-cancelable ones. The non-cancelable is the best one. They can't change, or they change the price or cancel. The cancelable one, well, that's what you could say is the worst one of the three, where they can cancel or change the price. And then the guaranteed options are in the middle. The reason why I say the guaranteed options are in the middle is there's more than just guaranteed renewable. There's guaranteed issue, guaranteed to issue, and guaranteed renewable. And no, I'm not going to repeat them. You can look them up when they show up. I just want you to cram them in the middle. Because more often than not, at least from my experience, they're going to rely on cancelable or non-cancelable as the answer. Because cancelable, they can cancel on you. That's easy for them to pick out, black or white. And non-cancelable, they can't cancel or change the price. It's very black and white. Okay? Are monthly payouts inflation indexed? No, not right now. We're going to talk about stuff like that later, David. If you get several critical illness during your life, okay, I'm going to say this really clearly one more time because it seems like people aren't hearing me. One critical illness policy, when you get sick once, it pays out once and then it's gone. I'm not going to answer those questions anymore. Okay? I can't keep repeating myself every time. So we're gonna skip past CI because we're not talking about CI. With disability, you can go on disability and go off disability. Go on disability and go off disability. That is true. But CI is a one shot. And it's done. just like life. You can't die and then get resurrected and hope life insurance is going to pay you again, right? Not that you can get resurrected yet. Well, I guess, like if they paddle you back, I don't know. That's getting too complicated. Repeat guarantee renewable. They can raise the price on you, but they cannot cancel on you. Guaranteed issue are part of these. This is why I would recommend you to search those ones up, because they show up relatively less often, and guaranteed issue is group. Because it's guaranteed to you no matter your health, because you work at the job. These are the main three they're going to talk about: individual disability, not group. Okay? Next ones. The prices don't always renew every year, but if they're going to renew the price or change the price, it will be at the end of the year. Yeah. Does it cost go up as you get better coverage like everything else, Lucas? Heck yeah. You want more coverage, you pay more money for it, for sure. Yeah. Is there a waiting period for disability? There sure is. You can get those waiting periods in here as well. 30 days, 90 days, 60 days. How long you wait before your first payment, for sure. Yep. The second thing you need to choose is your definition of disability. The first one is called any occupation. The second one is called regular occupation. And the last one is called own occupation. Not too shaboosh, but I'd say if you wanted to do a 0-day waiting period disability, it would be very expensive. Because the shorter the wait, the more expensive the price. Any occupation definition. Now, maybe I'll explain the definition. So let's talk about one situation where the any occupation might come into play. You get hurt at your job, and you can't do your job anymore. So let's say you work in construction. You hurt yourself. Now you need to do, I don't know, McDonald's drive-through. You go get a new job. These answer the question of, do I still get paid DI? Do I still get paid disability?